I I know I'm just as shocked as you. Not only in the fact that I'm not dead, but most of my head, as you can see, is now cleanly shaven. You know, New Year's will do that to you. Nonetheless, there was a new Nintendo Direct today, so of course, much like everyone else, I thought I'd give my impressions of how it went. And overall, I thought it was really good. It was much faster than most of the usual directs. I think it was only about 40 minutes or so, and for the most part, they were just like they were really pushing things at you, like constantly, like just nuts. So there wasn't a lot of time to really breathe and process things as they were happening. But for the most part, there was a ton of games. It was just game, 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 game. Um, so the first big, really new story of note would be the fact they're doing a new Fire Emblem game. I've never played a Fire Emblem game. I know nothing about the series, but I know a lot of people are going to be happy for that. They'll be excited for that. I think they said they're going to have a new lead artist and lead director or whatever. So if you're interested in those things, Marvel Pop. The first thing that I really took note of was this smaller game called Puzzles and Dragons Z. Um, and it's this match three puzzle game mixed with like an RPG and a light Pokemon mechanic where you can capture the enemies, you have them fight for you, I think, or something to that effect. And while it seems cute and a good game on its own, the thing that really popped out at me is they're doing a Mario remake as well. So you're going to get two games in one for the bundle. Um, but so instead of just random gems, you have Mario and Goombas and Koopa Troopers. I know there's all the Mario things. It's not a huge game. It's very cute and very simple. I'll give it a try if I get the chance. The big news for me was they announced the ability that you can now download Wii games onto the Wii U from the eShop, which I think is great because I got my Wii U just a little bit after Skyward Sword. So for the most part, the console had already died down, so I really didn't get a lot of chance to go and play all the great games that came to the console. And now I hopefully will get that chance, especially considering today, like directly after the direct ended, they announced the Mario Galaxy 2 is already on the store, good to go. If you want to go play it, so by all means go do because I hear it's a great game. I'm looking forward to finally trying it. Um, they also touched a little bit on Amiibo, and they did announce some cool characters like Pac-Man and Charizard and all those. Um, the real thing that struck out to me was the fact there was a new Mario statue. So some people have gone back and forth, but I do like that. There we will be getting different versions of these statues because one of my biggest problems is much like everyone else. I don't like the colored plastic, cheap-looking molds on the characters. Especially characters like Link and Fox. So I'm hoping that I might not like those poses, but hopefully there'll be new poses and new models in the future that hopefully will look better than those ones. So I, you know, I guess the only thing that kind of sucks is now you have to buy the Smash Brothers Mario and then the Mario and then the Mario Party Mario. So they're gonna get even more money out of us somehow, but it's Nintendo. We really blame them. They kind of need it right now. After that, they talked about Tingle being in the upcoming DLC for Hyrule Warriors. I'm really, really trying hard not to play this game because on the base level, the thought of just having Link beat the crap out of hundreds of people sounds awesome. You get all these different characters. Tingle's in it now. You're just blasting. I know what Dynasty Warriors is. That's so I'm trying really hard not to let my Zelda love corrupt me, but they're doing everything in their power to get me to play that game because like at this point, it's like, there's, I mean, if Tingle was in it, but um, and the other one was Mario versus Donkey Kong Tip Star. Now, this one was. It seemed like a very simple thing on the surface. It was just another Mario versus Donkey Kong, puzzle game where you lead the toys, and in this one you can draw on the touchscreen and make paths for them and whatnot. So that's it's a whatever. I'm more over it's Donkey Kong game. There was two things that stood out to me that got me really excited. The first one is the big selling point on this game is that everyone can make custom levels. But when you play and beat a level, you can use 3 stars you collect to kind of tip the creator and say, hey, thanks for making a great level. Uh, and what this allows to do is the creator can then go back into the level editor and buy new parts and new pieces using the stars other people have given them. So it gives players like a physical, tangible earning as opposed to just like a thumbs up or like you're on the top 10 or something like that. So the more people like a creator, the more stars they'll get, the more stuff they can do, and more they can experiment with the game. I'm sure somebody's gonna cheat the system and favorite and star crappy levels or the friend levels, all that things. So it's not a foolproof system, but still the idea is there, and I think it's really good Nintendo trying to foster that community and that well-being between people. But the other big thing about this game is it's cross-buy. You buy it on 3DS, you get it on the Wii U. You buy it on the Wii U, you get it on the 3DS. That's awesome because games like Shovel Knight and all these other games should have been that. So the fact that Nintendo was finally doing that is awesome. My only concern is earlier in the presentation they announced this new Pokemon game that is a puzzle game or whatever. The only reason I bring it up is because that game's going to have this free-to-play thing where you can only do certain moves in a day or in an hour. But if you pay, then you can get more moves and more hours. So I'm hoping Nintendo stays away from stuff like that and focuses more on just the cross-buy, making sure that consumers get the best bang for their dollar and really reward people and their loyalty. Uh, Beyond that, the other big one after that was the new 3DS, which just left me scratching my head. Um, because I constantly argue with people what a console is and when is the next one beginning and this and that. And it's obvious to say things like more horsepower and more graphics and this and that. But I look at the new 3DS and it still confuses me because you have things like there's now extra buttons on the shoulders, there's the C stick, it doesn't use SD cards anymore, it uses micro SD cards, but it doesn't look like it's a new console. And again, the fact the name is silly, but it's also problematic because if someone who reads and learns about games thoroughly, has no clue about this, like what's a mom and a dad gonna do? Because their kid's just gonna say, "I want a 3DS," and the parents will go and they'll buy them some game for the old, the the now 3DS. I don't even know what to say. Some parents gonna buy their kids a Mario Kart 7 or Smash Brothers or something like that, and it's not gonna work, or they're gonna buy Majora's Mask and it's not gonna work on the old gens. So that's where it gets confusing because um, there were certain games like Monster Hunter and I think Xenoblade, which only work on the new 3DS. So that's where it gets confusing because I don't know if it's a new one or so yeah. I mean, it's awesome. Majora Mask is coming out so soon because they announced it more or less in November or something like that, and it's coming out February. So like it's coming out real fast. I'm quite impressed with that. But yeah, I think the name is a problem. Not only because it's goofy, but because it confuses the consumer. And if this is a new console, they should really stress that and say, hey, this is the next evolution. This is what it will be. Because right now, just looking at it at a surface value, it does not look to be that. It just looks to be like the next, like, this year's 3DS, kind of like in the iPhone 5 or 5.6 or whatever. So yeah, that's my biggest thing with this direct was the because there were leaks about the new 3DS coming to America and all of these things. So I think I really wish they would have took the time to explain what it was, how it relates to the past gens, or what it is, where does that leave game development for 3DS games? Because right now I'm kind of just throwing up my hands because I don't know, and they didn't give themselves a lot of time because the thing launches next month, like literally in a month's time. I don't think they're gonna do another direct 2 or 3 weeks just after this one, and so they don't have really a lot of time to explain this to the consumers or to change the title. I'm sure there's already a bunch of these packaged and ready to go, so I'm just confused why they would do this, especially considering how much Wii U has hurt their brand and the confusion people have with that. Uh, because I'll admit, it looks as a piece of hardware, it looks great. Runs faster. It's got better memory. It tracks the 3D tracks, so you don't have to look straight on. You can look at it from the side, or move around, and it'll track it. So as a piece of hardware, it looks great. Just what it means for the future of the 3DS line and the handheld. That's why I get confused. But overall, this was just another direct. Games, games, games. Gave us a lot of hope to say, hey, here are the games coming up from today all the way to March, June. The first half of the year is going to have a lot of great games, a lot of boom, a lot of power, and so yeah, Nintendo fans, nope, Nintendo keeps showing they're not dying, they're not giving up, and we shouldn't give up on them either because they're clearly, if they're gonna go out, they're gonna go out fighting.